I guess when I first started to become conscious of the idea that I did have anxiety was back in high school, where I started to see myself as not a nice and friendly person, but as someone with no potential, someone who isn't appreciated, someone who just ruins the fun for others, someone who's just better off not being there. A lot of those thoughts just kept coming in, and that's when I started to become like really, really negative about myself. And I was like, wait, I don't think that's normal. So that's when I sort of started to understand the way I was thinking was sort of not right, and that I did sort of have something wrong, I guess. And it got to a point where I sort of thought I did something at work one night. I did something wrong, and on the way back from work at like 10 p.m. at night, I was listening to emotional music at the time, and the stars sort of aligned, and I went into this really self-destructive mindset. It was probably the most chaotic experience I've ever had, with my mind just absolutely going crazy, with just thoughts going wild. And I've never felt so worthless during that time. And that's when I sort of started to understand that this is getting too far. I need to do something. I need to get this to stop. Like, that was just really, really bad. It was one of the worst experiences I've had. And that trigger point for me was when I was asked a few months later if I wanted to go bowling. And I said yes. And what happened was, after it was my turn to bowl, I looked around to go sit back down. And one of my friends, she asked me, "Why do you look so sad?" And that's when I really was like, yeah, this has gone too far. This has gone to a point where I'm not sort of being there isn't causing everyone grief. My attitude is causing everyone grief. And that was like this mind-blowing moment for me, that it wasn't me being the issue, it was the way I was acting being the issue. And after that sort of moment, I was going through this self-reflective process of sort of fighting that that other being, that other existence that was telling me these thoughts. That's sort of how it manifested for me. And so during this time of reflection, I was just beating down the other person that was telling me these thoughts. And that's sort of how I started to overcome anxiety after that trigger point, that event. And through that same time, that reflected time now, I started to become more attracted to nature and started to admire it so much more. And it wasn't because it was like, it's beautiful, it's pretty. It was because I sort of understood that it didn't have a mind, didn't really have emotions, it couldn't judge others. And so the moment I tried to really take a look at nature, it would sort of bounce back onto me. And that sort of allowed me to only think about myself, because there was nothing else to think about. And it really helped me sort of dig deep into my mind and analyze what I've been doing for the past few years. And it's through that I've sort of come to this place now where I can sort of see anxiety as something else, that I can suppress rather than it really controlling me. I can sort of control it now.